Welcome to Earthly Integrations with Eden and Chris. Take what you need for your highest good and timeline. Breathe into your heart space and be present with us as we connect and evolve together.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to Earthly Integrations with Eden and Chris. I'm Chris.
And I'm Eden. Thank you so much for joining us again on this earth. And today's topic, we have living with intention. And this is a really big topic for both of us to kind of slow down and do things with intention. So, what does intention even mean?
So, when we are doing things with intention, we are, I feel like, doing them with awareness more. We're putting more awareness on something.
Right, awareness and reasoning behind it, something like we're noticing. We're noticing what needs to be done and we're focusing on that one thing. So focus is also a big thing that I've been getting lately. So every morning I wake up and I am still in my theta state, and I just made a meditation crown, which has a bunch of stones on it and
You said you wanted
whatnot.
one of those. I was
Yes.
going to make you one for your birthday, just didn't have the time to do it.
My mom came over and we made one together, and it was
Nice.
awesome.
Aw, cool.
And so I put my crown on and I meditate and I kind of just like tune into how my body is feeling, and then I go from there. Sometimes I make a to-do list. This will give me an intention for my day. And sometimes I just draw some cards. I do tarot every morning, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
always nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good practice to quiet the mind, especially in the morning. We want to like get up and look at our phone right away and,
Mhm.
get started with our day or whatever your practice is that we've been programmed to do. And I do invite you, just as a life coach, like to change it up. It helps create new neural pathways in our brain when we do things, even if you just, brush your teeth with your left hand if you're right-handed or you normally, stuff like that. So switch it up, and that'll keep things good and healthy. And but yeah, to take a pause. I do that Lord's Prayer. It's that new rendition, or not the new rendition, but it's supposed to be like the original, like Aramaic. Or I'm maybe saying all of this wrong, but my focus and intention is to have more joy in my life and to laugh. And I laugh at myself very easily, so because I say weird things. But anyway, yeah, I do that prayer, and I feel like there's a vibration to it, and so I'm introducing that vibration into, even because you don't want to get into your brain. I don't want to overthink, but also if you do just kind of, visualize either what you want to experience that day, or take a deep breath and smile at something that makes you happy, an act of gratitude to set the intention for the day. It doesn't have to be anything really big, but you do reprogram your brain when you do focus on those positive thoughts intentionally.
Hmm.
And so that is actually reprogramming the biological computer that is your brain.
Yeah, Abraham Hicks, this is her big, big thing. Every morning that you wake up, you need to like tune in to your body. And then from there, you can start feeling the things that you want to manifest. Like imagine having that house that you are looking at, or that car, or that job, or children, whatever, and letting that happiness and love blossom.
Yes, and that's the key. Exactly what you just said. Letting the emotion follow, because
Hmm.
here's the thing, here's where you can go wrong. If you have that intention, but it's followed by sadness because you don't have it, you're actually setting a lack mentality. And so what you want to do is have that joy, follow it with that joy, right? And so that's the alchemic process. Is you have the visualization, you're already in that state of theta activity, right? So that neutral state, and then you bring the visualization, you kind of picture it in your mind's eye, and then you bring the joy, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, and the emotion. How's it going to feel when I experience that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And this, once you practice it continually, it gets easier and easier to like provoke those really good feeling emotions. And I've also heard that if you start looking for the best part of your day, say, then you just have a really great day because you consistently are looking for things that are good.
Yeah, and it does. Here's the thing, guys. You're not just talking to your left brain, you're programming your brain, which you are doing, but you're also like allowing for your creative mind, which is really, it's like somebody described it. I think I talked about this in other podcasts, like where they were describing it as if your higher self or your higher mind, your right brain is, and if it's a clear channel and you're really receiving accurate information, um, that's why we allow space for it, clear the channel to do that. And you're getting that. It's like navigating you through the canyons of life, right? Like down here in the canyon, you can't see. You can't see because you don't have all of the awareness. And when you're up there, you're allowing that sort of navigation process. So, but it doesn't always use words. So we have to kind of quiet the mind and use the images and the memories and the visualizations and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And let's talk about clearing the channel. Like she said before, just having a clean body and eating somewhat healthy, non-processed food, not drinking, not smoking, not contaminating the temple. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Whenever you have a clear channel,
Mm-hmm.
this is it's just going to make your intuitive and little rituals so much easier
You're
than,
carving out space
yes.
to hold higher vibration is what you're doing, right? So it's that distortedness. You're getting rid of the distortion essentially,
Mhm.
right? And you're clearing it out so it can be a more, think about that. If you're switching a radio station and it's like, and it's not really coming in, right? Did you like that? Um, told
Not
you.
what it sounds like.
So anyway, yeah, sometimes the music isn't clear, sometimes the station isn't coming in clearly, and the same thing, your channel isn't clear. Like you've got to get to, clear it, and then the music and the harmony, and then it will be more clear to get a more clear message, and it will be more harmonious, quite
Mhm.
literally.
And that's another thing to set an intention towards. Like, you don't have to turn around tomorrow and stop eating sugar or anything like that. But whenever we
Although
find
you should. Sorry, I am like the biggest hypocrite there. Sorry.
while I'm drinking sugar right
Right,
now.
me too, me
Yeah.
too.
Um, well, whenever you're drinking these things or eating the sugar, you know, have an intention of feeling good while you're eating it, and it just it feels really good to feel good, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
And whenever you put that good feeling into your drink, into your chocolate or whatever,
Mhm.
it I don't know, I just feel like it puts good thoughts into your stomach
Yeah,
and
you
then
put
goes out from
intention
there.
into, so this is actually scientifically proven. We talked about Dr. Emoto's, water crystal healing, and this is very scientifically proven, everybody. And I know we talked about it before. But yeah, it is. You're literally changing the structure of your water when you do it. You're sort of restructuring your water with that. And
But
so
even
do
your
that.
food, even
Mhm.
like whenever you eat a muffin, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty.
Mm.
Let
Charge it with life force energy.
Right? Let yourself feel good that you're treating yourself, okay? Because whenever you feel bad and crappy about it, you're probably gonna grab another one.
And for non-religious folks, actually, this is, what they're really doing, whether they know it or not, when they're blessing their food, is they are, you're giving gratitude, and
Mm.
then you're charging it with life force energy, and it does, it makes a difference, and how you metabolize it, like you just said, that it will all like it'll make your body happier, your cells will receive it, like our whole body is alive. We are, the macro and the micro, and I really wanted to talk about that too. Um, and then we are playing with these energies. And I think we were just talking about how like the sun is, I even wrote it down, the sun is shooting out these solar flares, right? And we talked about that too, but it's still happening. And what I got during a meditation was that it's sort of throwing out these codes of information into like, the atmosphere, the sort of the web of reality that we exist in. And it's giving us an opportunity, if we want to experience them more consciously, we can, that they would be available to us. But raising the vibrational frequency and becoming aware and allowing these things into our space. It's like all of this light, you know what I mean? And it's accessible to show us more. And then when we get out of the ego brain, the left brain control center, right, of that's trying to like keep in control, if we allow that to just kind of set aside, um, it's more easily accessible. And it's the information is there, not that we've learned, but because we are tapping into source energy with these codes. And it's light is information, right? When something has light on it, it's showing us something, it's giving us information. It's the same idea, except it's an unconscious level, but we're bringing that unconscious, like I always say, but this is part of that process, into consciousness. And when we expand that, we become more of the creator. And this is really the divine learning about itself. This is us waking up in the dream. And I think we talked about it a little bit. I wanted to make that a whole like title, becoming awake in the dream, where that's happening now. The astrology right now, and I don't want to get too much into it because I haven't really paid that much attention. Lately, astrology is like, there's a lot of big astrology happening, a lot of stuff, in a lot of planets in Venus, and Aries. We have Venus moving into Aries here. No, we just did it on the 30th of April, and that is created sort of a renewed energy to create with like full force. We're in Taurus, so it's bringing it into the physical. Jupiter's in Gemini, so like using communication, things moving quickly in order to bring things into. But so bringing these new energies and things that you dreamed up in the past, there's an opportunity here to take the things that really light you up and give you joy and to bring them into creation, using a creation energy, that Aries energy, that initiation fire, cardinal fire, into the physical and quickly, but by also there's that Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, on a soul level. Pluto is affecting the collective, and bringing us together and bringing us more aware. That Molly McCord that I listen to all the time, I love her so much. If you want to listen to her podcast, she's got a lot of good information. But she's talking about how like Pluto is kind of, she's saying to back stuff up. There's like a Mercury transit too, or placement too, that's gonna, but like back technical stuff up, like your computer stuff, and have backups of stuff. And there's a sort of a risk of losing information quickly because of that. So,
I have already been having issues with this.
a lot of people have, yeah.
Yeah, like all of my clouds, they're filled. Apparently, my email is going to stop getting emails May 17th.
And they had like credit card issues across the nation yesterday. Walmart had a huge, just a very difficult time processing cards. Something was shut down, and we're going to see more of this. So, they say, maybe keep extra cash on you, and make sure your car is filled up, and make sure, yeah, like you have backup copies, and, print out your passwords and stuff.
Yeah, did y'all hear about Barcelona?
I did not.
Apparently there was a massive blackout across all of Barcelona. Like people were stranded on trains and they had to go get emergency pickups, and hospitals and whatnot didn't have power for like the whole day, and they just started getting it back little by little, I think yesterday. So pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing that I wanted to introduce that Eden and I were talking about, I was inspired to create something. So there is, I don't, if it's a program or a campaign, there's a lovely woman named Marina that is doing some interviews for some holistic practitioners or in the area, and her campaign is called, or the program is called Decriminalize Nature. I think I've referred to it before, but it gave me, because she does interviews, and one of the questions that she asks is, how would you consider, or what does we are the medicine, or I am the medicine mean to you? And that got me thinking, and I was like, wow, that would be really cool to do this montage of like something inspirational for people. And all of a sudden I got this like download of like this like visual of what we could do. And so Eden and I are going to aspire to and invite you to join us to do this too. If you could, or if you feel compelled to do so, if you feel called, we would like to collectively use intention. So we do it in our individual lives, but like if you'd like to join us, we'd like to invite you to set intentions with us to seed positivity into the physical world, okay, and to bring this into consciousness. So if you'd like to just, record yourself, maybe doing a little 10-second video or 20-second video of one or two sentences of how you've made the world a better place, either today or how you make the world a better place and a good quality that you bring into this existence and why that is. Like I said, nothing lengthy, and you can say yourself during the whole thing, and it might be clipped depending on how many we get. We're going to do this locally and invite our little local groups to do it. And then so we extend that to you. And I've been getting more feedback. So it sounds like some people are maybe listening to this, which is cool because, like I said, we had no expectation. It was just like her and I Eden and I having coffee and like, hey, these are cool conversations. We should probably, record some of this stuff. Maybe other people will think that they're cool. Somebody today told me, they were like, yeah, I really have found some value and she started to cry. Like it was the, oh my gosh, the biggest like warm fuzzy ever, to hear that something that you put out there touched somebody and improved them in a way or helped them in a way. It's the only thing that I could possibly want, right? It is the butterfly effect in motion. And
I think this is how we are making the world a better
absolutely.
place. I don't know if you know.
I mean, I got that message. That's why we're doing this podcast.
So another thing is if you check the description, we will attach a link or something that you can click on to submit a video. So check that out. And we really appreciate any videos that y'all send in. We will be doing our own little interviews with anybody that we meet up and that want to do this. And we just can't wait to get this whole project up and going. Hopefully we'll have it done maybe by the end of next month.
If you're lazy like me and don't want to like look, it's just EarthlyIntegrations@yahoo.com. Let's see. So we have that. Our next meetup for that group is going to be May 25th, and we're going to go ahead and host that at Eden's studio again. So Blissful Energy Studio in Wickham Road in Melbourne, and that'll be 1 to 3 on the 25th. Yeah, we invite you to come join us. There are so many beautiful humans showing up, and oh my goodness, it is just like when you're in the space of people who speak your language, you know what I mean? It's such a great connection, such a great space to share, and really raise your vibe. It really is a high vibe tribe. I wish we could have called it like Earth Soul Family or something. It really, really does. So we've called it the Space Coast Soul Collective. That's what it is for right now, and we invite you to somehow be a part of it in whatever way, and even if it's just leaving a little message on this.
We do have a WhatsApp group going on that we do post like the next meetings, where they're at, the times, places, and try to promote other people's groups that they're putting together, because right now it's very, very important to keep in touch with your community.
Community, so much, so much.
And be intentional about it. Like, I'm not trying to fear monger or anything, but once the grocery stores have nothing on the shelves, where are you going to get your food? Who has the chickens? Who has the grapefruits?
Yeah, barter trade. Already start doing this, you guys. Seriously, I encourage y'all to like unplug and disconnect from this stupid system and model as much as you can. I know people are like, don't use words like it's never gonna, it's never, we'll never, but I hate that. For one, don't speak into that into my reality, because I know, and this is what I was saying, I know that I'm a peaceful person and I'm capable of it, and if I exist, I'm proof myself. So don't tell me it can't,
Absolutely. Yeah, because anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
That's what I really live by. That's my highest belief. Anything's possible. That's why I can really like listen to other people that might be a little crazy and be like, well, that's possible. That's possible for sure. But yeah, we were talking about intention.
So yeah, so everything with intention. So, like she said, waking up in the morning, taking spiritual showers.
Whenever you start to have intention per every little thing that you do, say a cup of coffee in the morning or praying at night, it all becomes like a ritual. And then it becomes easier to do, and you feel really great doing it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, you are really creating those new neural pathways, and you reprogram your brain. So then you're like got a positive mindset instead of a negative mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I got some feelers out there, and I really wanted to talk about abundance. And if you just look around yourself right now, I'm sure that you can find all sorts of abundance around you. The trees that are growing, the grass that's growing, the animals, the just the wind in your hair, and even the grocery store. Sorry. The shelves are filled right now. Feel the abundance and
Yeah.
be grateful. The
Yes.
bed that you've made and the everything that
That's a
you
prayer.
have.
Prayer of gratitude's the best.
Oh, great gratitude.
Yeah, that's the best prayer you could ever pray, you know?
Or
Yeah,
in
thank you. Because it's saying, hey, I recognize I have this and I
mhm.
allow for there to be more. And I know that I am taken care of in this moment, and that is true. That's like the whole like another reference to the life coaching thing, it's like people get actually I want to lift up my very good friend Dina Duckenfield, who has written a book called Anxiety You Are Canceled. I was just rereading some of it that last night, and just she's so funny. You guys have to check this book out. But it's like, yeah, I mean, we all create these like scenarios in our brain, and then like those are self-fulfilling prophecies, and
Well, another thing is what your inner world reflects into your outer world.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
And what you are imagining or feeling on the inside. Like if we're feeling chaos and we're feeling like the whole system needs to break down and we just need to the society is ending and whatnot, it's gonna happen. So instead of that, just find the abundance that you have in your everyday life, the abundance of just going to the gas station and being able to get gas
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
having a job and all of these things.
Right. That's what I was gonna say was, you know, write a list of what is actually true. What is
Mm,
what, she reminded me of that by reading that book. That's what it was. Is, what's real? Like, is this true? Because your mind's gonna, so be careful and be intentional about those thoughts, because the truth is that you do have abundance. The truth is that most of us really do have, we're sort of rich if you have, money in your pocket and food and right. Like, yeah.
Yeah, even like the richest people that have the most amount of abundance, I guess you would say, I don't think they're the happiest people because they continue to see like they don't have abundance and so they're grasping for more and they want it all because they don't think that they have enough.
There is a lack mentality that
Hmm.
has been sort of ancestral. And that's another thing, actually. There's been some ancestral, like, healing and, a lot of, especially like people like us who are, if you're interested in this podcast, maybe you are, one of those people who are sort of feeling a responsibility to heal an energy in your family or your ancestors, that is showing up in like your mother father wounds, and you're just like enough, and the divine feminine in you is like enough. I don't. This is not okay. Politically, we're seeing it. It's like what? How many rights are they gonna take away from? Like, and the feminine's gonna have to get real pissed off here. Enough so collectively that we're just like, okay, you crossed the line. I mean,
Right.
they've crossed the line. They have, but
They
like
have.
it hasn't affected us personally enough yet for us to be like rage. But it will. If they keep going the way it is, it will.
Well, something that someone brought up a minute ago is, they have shown us what they're doing to the male immigrants. Like, what are they doing to the female, to the women, to the children? Because last time Trump was in office, you know what they did? They did hysterectomies on women. They lost children.
Yeah.
Like, this
This
is
is very reminiscent of Germany,
absolutely.
historic Germany, sending people to, the camps.
They
It
want
wasn't, yeah.
they want to give women medals for having up to 6 children. That's exactly what Germany did in Hitler times. They want to give us $5,000 per birth. It's like, I'm pretty sure kids are a lot more than that.
Couldn't it, why can't people like I just don't understand. I don't understand how the person who or people who are responsible are not being held accountable. I can't fathom how we're just all sitting around like disgusted, but and
Yeah.
that's something, but again, what else do we do when we feel hopeless? Well, we set those intentions because this is my reality, and like Eden said, when you make it your inner world, you project it into the outer world. We're not really receiving. Instead of being reactors, we shouldn't be reactors. We've been taught to be reactors instead of projectors. We're projecting all of the stuff internally instead of. So let's calm the nervous system. That's why it's let's breathe, calm your nervous system. Whatever you need to do that. And there's a ton of ways, and Eden and I are both very well informed and can help you learn how to do those things. And depending on how far you want to take your own healing, um, it's all about self-healing. And so when we do heal the self, we can have the capacity to give it more. So let's
Mm-hmm.
do that. Let's do that, guys.
Yeah. Whenever you're able to take a breath and really feel into your body and notice, like, how is your right leg feeling compared to your left leg? And how is your uh, upper body feeling compared to your lower body?
Right.
This really pulls you all the way back into your body because a lot of us are living out of our body.
Mm-hmm.
And to pull yourself back, we can feel what our body needs. And whenever we can feel that, then we can attune to it and tend to it better.
Right. So I'm going to be doing actually a class called Essential Elements Indeed. I talked about this with the owner of Essential Elements Wellness, and I was like, well, when I first came into town, I did a class on the elements, which Dina was I think how I met her, or one of the ways we hung out at first, anyhow. And she was like the only person who showed up to this class, and it was awesome. I got to just sit there and talk to her about the elements of astrology, and it's so relevant, and it's become more so because it's what helps us carve out space. So when we use intention to do it, when we're intentional about managing our vessel, and when we say that, it means we use air, so we use breath to clear it, to calm our nervous system. We manage the water element, and we cry, or we use medicine. We communicate, that's another error, I suppose, or we journal, which would be earth. We use the elements to heal and to manage that thing. One of the ways we clear energy out of the body, and Eden, talks about this too, because she's like super active and, sweats a lot and stuff. And it's like, that's great for your Aries, because Aries needs to move energy physically to feel okay. It's so important. If you have any like placements of Aries in your inner planets, or points in your personal planets, then definitely get you some exercise. But so in this class, we're going to be doing these things and teaching these things, and doing like some somatic body movements to move energy. And I think it's going to be cool. I'm going to bring some different people into the class to be able to experience it. So if you're interested, let me know, and I'll send you some dates and point you in that direction.
Cool. That's awesome. Because elements and your astrological signs is, I think, really important. And whenever I realize that I am very fiery, I'm okay with the passion now. I'm okay with being loud with it. And I give myself grace and understanding, while
Right.
other people are like kind of offended. The other day, I got really passionate about this whole job thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm so mad about it. I'm so mad. You have to work your ass off to just work your ass off, right? You have to work your ass off to get a job. You know what? Our parents didn't have to do that. They legit just walked into a place and be like, "Can I fill out an application?"
It's not that easy. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so it is. I get really passionate about certain things, and
Yeah,
I'm
but it does
totally
give you
cool with
extra
it.
grace,
Yeah.
because you've been intentional about learning about that part of yourself, right? It's all self-healing.
Mhm.
You have extra grace to give to other people. Same thing with me. Like, I find things that other people do kind of funny, and I'm not really that annoyed with other people, because I know I have my stuff and I have extra grace about it. And sometimes, and if you can just learn to laugh and if you can accept it about yourself, it literally, you don't even perceive it anymore. It's when it triggers you and it upsets you, it means that it's something in you that needs you need to pay attention to that. It needs
Hmm.
healing. It's something that needs healing.
Yeah, yeah. Really focusing on learning yourself, learning about your physical self, your mental self, your spiritual self, your community, the way you have relationships, things like that. Once you start learning all of these things about yourself, you hardly ever get mad at yourself.
No, you start laughing at yourself and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous, and then you start
It's
laughing
like,
till you're
oh,
crying.
that's just Eden, or that's
Right.
just Chris.
And
Yeah.
that's actually good practice is to kind of mention yourself in your head and refer to yourself as other like that because, it does remove us from that ego mind, which we
Mm,
do need to detach from sometimes because we are not our bodies. We have bodies, we
yeah.
wear these skin suits, but they are temporary to have an experience and then, we recycle them.
Right? We aren't even our thoughts,
No,
right?
no.
Like those are transmissioned right into our head. So
And
start,
generated, biological computer thoughts, they're either
mm,
pre-generated and they're like already programmed or like you said, you're channeling them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
start getting into a different frequency with your thoughts,
Yeah.
like higher, high vibe frequencies.
Well,
But
we intend for everybody to have a beautiful rest of your day or night or afternoon, whichever time you're listening to this. And again, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Earthly Integrations.
yeah, happy May, and I hope that the skies are blue where you are, and have a wonderful day.
Be well.
Bye.
Bye.